Mr. Vice Chairman, will you make the point?
I will make a point. I want to make a couple points. One, I strongly disagree with you about the issue of drug trafficking being more important at this point than the threat of China or Russia. But that you're going to.
I'm sorry. Please. He asked me for the most ones. I did not rank them in order.
Well,
I did not rank them in order.
Well, let me just. I want to make one point, then I want to come back to the point that my colleagues have been making. Because this is an area that you're familiar with, in terms of Securities and Exchange Commission work. We are working diligently on a bill to create a set of laws around digital assets. From your work at the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District, from your focus on drug trafficking, is it not the case that many drug traffickers use digital assets to transfer funds?
Yes.
Is it not the case, as we try to work through this legislation, to try to make sure there are barriers and restrictions that we should not grant this new industry, which has a huge potential? I'm one of the few that says we got to put some rules here, at least on this side of the aisle, that we should not open up huge new loopholes that would allow self-dealing, adjacent transactions, with your focus on drug trafficking, making sure that we don't create additional holes for a tool that has already been abused. Would that not be important from a national security standpoint?
Senator, having AML, KYC, anti-money laundering, know your customer across the financial service sector and financial flows is essential to national security.
And should it be confirmed, this is going to be happening very quickly, one way or the other, and I want to make sure that those are you would be able to weigh in. I just want to say this. I've known Mr. Clayton for some time. I've worked with him. I've worked with him closely when he was at the SEC, but I am bitterly disappointed. And we've tried umpteen different ways to give you the ability to just acknowledge that Joe Biden was the president. Was fairly and duly elected.
I've acknowledged, Senator, that Joe Biden was the president. I've acknowledged that.
And fairly and duly elected.
And fairly and duly elected under our process.
Well, I'll have follow-up questions. I also have to say, as someone who's spent an enormous amount of time on this election interference issue, that it strains credibility. And I trust you. I know you, but it strains credibility to think that you were not aware of Director Gabbard's intervention in the domestic election activities in Fulton County, and that was subject of a great deal of consternation and review. Again, maybe the framing of the Senator's question you didn't appreciate, but even if you weren't aware, in preparation for this hearing, I would have thought, hey, we got to be ready for the Gabbard questions.
Yeah, look, I don't want to, it just wasn't something that was on my mind before the preparation for this hearing.
The idea that you acknowledged in your opening comments, and to me, that the role of the DNI is to look at foreign malign influence. It is outward looking. It is not to participate in domestic law enforcement on a case that I believe in. You can have a completely different view of this, and my Republican colleagues probably do, but on a case of relitigating a 2020 election activity in Georgia. To say that wasn't on your agenda of an issue that would be asked.
No, after Senator Ossoff raised it, it was. And to be clear, the ODNI's role is principally outside the United States. Intelligence Community role is principally outside the United States.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.